Thanks everyone for joining us. I've got the president of the Drury Rugby Club with me, Clive Franks. Clive, I appreciate your time, mate. A huge week for your club and a big year ahead, of course, as you celebrate your centenary. 100 years ago, the club was formed. Let's take us back 100 years and what do you sort of know about the history of the club, how it came about in post-World War I era, and that journey that you've sort of gone on from that point?
Yeah, Dale, it was formed on the 9th of February 1922 at a meeting attended by 30 people in the Drury Hall. And they went from there, I guess. But, fundraising and so forth to get 8 grounds and then club rooms and everything else sort of followed. They joined the Manukau Rugby Union at that time, were applied to and were accepted a few months later. And obviously over time it evolved into counties and to where we are today.
Yeah, mate, it's hard to sort of condense it into a short answer here, but the history, of course, over the last 100 years, the ups, the downs, triumphs, the failures, and that across, as is the case with all clubs. What are the things that sort of stand out across those 100 years? Are the eras that that are memorable for whatever reason?
Yeah, as you say, like most clubs, we've had our ups and downs over the years. I go back to the 70s, so I've seen a fair bit of it. But obviously, you have your peaks, and you relish those. But you also have your troughs, and you get that probably with any club. But you take your wins and accept your losses, I guess, and just plug on. But yeah, we're there, and we're not in top grade at the moment, but we've been there before. And with what's happening around our area, allegedly going to be the size of Napier or Hamilton in the next 20 years, so we hope to tap into that, obviously, in the future. So at the moment, we compete as best we can, and it's not easy these days for rugby clubs anywhere, I guess. They're all up. Same thing. So
yeah, it's certainly a challenge for all clubs, and those that are at a peg below trying to get up, it's even harder. So I mean, you look at the last few years for your club from when you last played in the Premier Division. There's been some good growth, and a lot of that hard work. People probably don't see the hard work. The fact that you've sort of knocking on the door, I think, unbeaten the senior team last year, all through the round robin play, and unfortunately just came unstuck in the final. It must be encouraging though that the club's in pretty good hands and in a good space at the moment.
Yeah, we've got a good bunch of guys there at the moment, and they really put their heart and soul into it. They come up short last year, which that was a bit of pill to swallow, but they left their worst game to the last of the season, and hey, that's rugby. But we'll have another crack this year, and there may be a few more teams in that grade this year, but we'll take it one game at a time, and just and hopefully we get the result this year.
Yeah, I think everyone around the region would be quite happy to see your club triumph at the end of the year. They sort of generally say you got to lose one to win one, so hopefully that's the case with Drury this year, mate. Let's have a look at this weekend. Obviously, huge celebrations right across from the Friday night all the way through the weekend. Just give us a brief sort of rundown on what's planned, and how people that have either played for the club or been involved in the community can get involved this weekend.
Yeah, well, on the Friday night is a mix and mingle, and I'm picking that to be a very big night. There's a lot of people have been through the club over the last 100 years, and I know that there's a big attendance expected, not just for the Friday, but Saturday we have a game against Maramarua and some junior boys games prior to that. In the evening we have got our dinner and our guest speakers. We have a video message from Kieran Reid. Kieran, his first club was Drury, and his brothers also played there. The Reid family, great supporters of Drury, and him being an absolute legend of New Zealand rugby. We're proud to have had him in our midst. He also sent us up a his 37th Test cap jersey, which will be on display on the night. That's the sort of people they are. They just it's great to have them associated with us, and we have some great guest speakers. Rod Gattels, who formerly played for Pukakari, was his main club, but he joined us when he moved into the area for the last couple of years of his career, and him and a few others gave the club a great boost at that time. So Rod's one of the guest speakers, or the main guest speaker, and we have others as well lined up. So dinner, a few speeches, and then on with the celebrations, I guess, stuff. So it's going to be a big night Saturday, and then on Sunday we've got an old boys game. So and that'll be good for some of the old boys to have a run around, and and I'm dreading it myself personally, but we'll try and get through it somehow. But
I'm sure it'll be a lot of fun. Might be some sore heads after the Friday and the Saturday back to back as well. So we'll see how you go with that, mate. You touched on it before. The future of the club. As we said, it's a challenge for all clubs at the moment, irrespective of where you are around the country. But you're in this unique position where there is supposed to be a significant population boom in and around where you're based. Where does the club sort of see itself, say 5, 10, 20 years from now? Presumably the goal is to get back to Premier Rugby in the not too distant future.
Yeah, well, it's a numbers game, Dale, and I think every club realises that. We certainly do. We have a lot of clubs around us with strong clubs. We've got Bombay just south of us, Karaka to the west, and Ardmore, Marist, Habakura north of us. So there's competition. For people, for players, and they'll tend to gravitate. The top players will gravitate to those top clubs. So our goal, as I see it anyway, is to just keep competing with as many teams as we can, and build towards getting back in the Premier grade. And I think that's definitely achievable as the population grows. And I mean, they're already building houses now in the area, significant numbers of them. So it should have a spin-off to us, although I do have a concern. Like back in the 80s, I believe numbers have halved in terms of people playing rugby. So, we have our challenges in front of us, but as long as we keep going and striving to do our best, I'm sure that the club will progress and we'll get our goal and get back into the Premier Division.
Absolutely.
It's just
mate. It'd be remiss of me not to ask, because we've seen these very bright purple uniforms the last couple of years. The club, I don't think you've talked about this at least publicly with on Counties Manukau channels. What's the plan there with your uniforms? I presume that the yellow and green that you've traditionally worn is not going anywhere, right?
No, that's correct. It's an alternate strip, I guess. We had a new bunch of guys come in and they wanted to change a few things around. So the powers that be at the time said that, okay, well, you go and draw up your own colours and give it a crack. So, yeah, there's a few people that are definitely not happy about it. And I'm one of those, probably. I'm a bit of a traditionalist, but we will use it as an alternate strip. And in the meantime, and certainly for the centenary, we'll be wearing our traditional colours. So, it's just something that we work through with a group of guys that are involved, and we just give them a little bit of a lead to do some of their own things. And that was one of the things that come up. And, I'm not entirely opposed to it. It's just I understand it, but, we are green and gold as our colours for most of us. So that's where we want to head back to, in my view anyway.
Best of both worlds, mate. That's protect the tradition and embrace the new as well, I guess. And you seem to be doing that. So look, mate, I hope the weekend goes really well for you. It's going to be a massive weekend. People can check out the website for more information. But I encourage anyone that's ever played at Drury or spend any time out there to go along and share in the celebration. And hope it goes well for you.
Thanks very much, Dale.